Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Lynn. If not, welcome back. For today's video, we're going to be doing a really quick and dirty, I guess to the point, review of my Barrina grow lights. If that sounds exciting to you, keep on watching. So if you've been following my channel for a hot moment, you will know that I'm not a huge supporter of name brand grow lights. I don't think you need to buy really expensive grow lights for you to grow beautiful plants. Most of my grow lights are a no brand generic grow light, full spectrum grow light, but a generic one from Amazon. And as you can see, I have a lot of success, I feel, in my humble opinion, with generic grow lights from Amazon, and they've been working well for me for like more than 3 years now because I've been using them like back in the day as well. But all of that is to say, it made me very curious about the hype surrounding Barrina grow lights, because if you've been following a lot of YouTube channels or Instagram channels of plant influencers or like Hoya influencers, you will encounter things in their description boxes or like in their captions about, oh, my growing conditions, these are grown under blah 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 humidity, temperature, and T5 Barrina grow lights or T8 Barrina grow lights. And I was just curious, like I didn't want to spend a ton of money on these grow lights, but I did manage to get them on a huge deal about 8 weeks ago-ish. Now it's about 2 months ago. I scored my Barrina T5 what do you call them, like the bar lights, on Amazon on a time limited deal. And they were not brand new, but they were like used but in light new condition, so they were really affordable. And then the second one I got, the Barrina Puck lights. Those came, I think I bought them in a set of 4. It was also a time limited deal, slightly pricier, I'm not gonna lie, and I've been using them for the last 2 months. Personally, the only name brand bulb I have are the Sansi grow light bulbs, and I have them in like 2 forms. One is like on the ceiling, and I'll flash an image or video on the screen right now. And these are extremely strong, very efficacious, but very ugly. So if that bothers you, this might not be the right grow light for you. But that said, I can attest that they work really well. They're often on sale on Amazon, and they're probably the most affordable brand out of all of the brands, like the brand name grow lights. The other Sansi bulb I have is the one that is again often on time limited deals or like on sale on Amazon as well. And this is literally just a grow bulb that you can screw into any light fixture, I think. I might be wrong, go check the specifications, but I bought them in like a gooseneck form. Again, I'll put a video or visual on the screen right now. And these Sansi bulbs are very strong, like very strong. So these are all of the name brand grow lights that I do own. So now I have like some Sansi bulbs in the ceiling light from Sansi or Sansi. I have the Barrina T5s that are used but like new that I recently got about 8 weeks ago-ish, and the Barrina Puck lights. And here are my absolute honest, no BS thoughts about all of these lights and what I think is worth it and what I think is like not super worth it, but like under the right conditions they might be. So let's get started. So I'm changing the view right now because I want to stand beneath this extremely bright Sansi overhead light fixture. So before I get started into like the Barrina review, I kind of want to talk really briefly about the Sansi grow lights that I have been really enjoying. I 100% recommend these. I think they are just so functional, so bright, so useful, and the plants just love them. So I have a giant Sansi ceiling fixture right above here, and I'm going to include a screenshot somewhere on the screen right now. But as you can see, it's so bright. It covers this entire space for this giant monstera that is like I want to say 180 centimeters, almost 2 meters tall, like 6 feet ish, but it's huge. And the aeroids truly love this grow light, and I can tell you my Hoyas do as well. I'm gonna show you. So this is the other room I have the overhead Sansi lights in. And again, the Hoyas love it as well, and it covers this entire area. They're all lighted by the same Sansi overhead grow light. So here are my pros and cons. A giant pro. Aeroids love it. The Hoyas love it. It covers a wide area in a room. So you have like a giant corner that you just want to light up really bright. I do think these lights are very much worth it. I will, however, recommend that you wait for like a time limited deal or wait for holiday season so you can score them on discount. If not, I do think they're kind of pricey. But given the price tag and how well they work, I do think they are worth it. I haven't tried an equivalent of a non-name brand overhead ceiling grow light, so I cannot speak to the other no-name brands on Amazon. But of all the ones I've seen before, they're all like really heavy rectangular things that you have to like hook on a chain and hang from the ceiling. And I think because of how heavy and how difficult to maneuver those fixtures are, I do think these like Sansi ones are really functional. There are 4 arms, and all 4 arms are like adjustable, so you can have them laying flat or have them domed or have them like going upwards like that. So it gives you certain, I guess, amounts of maneuverability, which makes them very functional, in my opinion. So that's the main pro. My con, obviously the price, but secondly, I think if you are like if you're somebody with an eye for interior design, and I am not, I do not have an eye for interior design, but even I find them to be kind of ugly. So if I think that they're ugly, I bet somebody with like real aesthetics would think they're horrendous. So I think that's probably the main con that I can say. It's just like really ugly looking. And for like an overhead light fixture, it's extremely bright, and it does require you to get some, I guess you kind of have to like adapt to like these grow lights because they're really bright. They're really like in your face. So when you first walk into a room, it can be really blinding. That's how bright they are. So those are my pros and cons. And I am now going to talk about the Sansi grow bulbs. So over here are my Sansi grow bulbs. I have them, you can buy them like as just a singular bulb or like in a box of 2, I think. But I bought these as a gooseneck setup on Amazon, again on a time limited deal. So these came on a gooseneck, and you can choose like a white version or a black version. I think the white one is nicer just because the bulb is always going to be white. They don't sell black bulbs, I don't think so. So I think the white one looks a little, I guess, more streamlined. These Sansi bulbs are very bright. They are small but very powerful. They have successfully sun-stressed all of my Hoyas. My Gunung Gading Ghost, I'll put a picture up on the screen, completely pink. They have sun-stressed my Clemenceorum. They have sun-stressed my Lacunosa tricolor. These are extremely strong, bright bulbs. Because it functions almost like a spotlight, it's not gonna cover a wide area. It's more of like a spotlight type of a grow light. So it's very strong, but it does function a little bit like a spotlight. But will I recommend it? I do recommend these Sansi grow bulbs. I think for how small they are, and the newer versions on the gooseneck come with like a time sensor now, so you can set the time and have it be automated, which I think is really nice. The older ones just come with a switch, and so you have to keep switching them on and off, or you can buy like those timer outlet plugs that can help you automate that process. But basically, I do highly recommend the Sansi grow bulbs. Most of my grow lights are still generic, but I do have these just these 4 bulbs here that I reserve for like plants I'm trying to sun stress or that like really require a much higher amount of light. So these I would say are highlight grow bulbs from Sansi, and I will recommend buying them on a time limit deal or on like one of those like when you scroll down it says like used, and then there are like different conditions to the use, like new or like good, fair, etc. I do think buying used grow lights on Amazon isn't a big deal. So far the experience has been really good. So Sansi bulbs, highly recommend. Sansi ceiling fixtures, also highly recommend. Again, con, do they look good? No, they don't look good. The gooseneck is really strong though. But other than that, I think it's strong. The light is strong, the gooseneck is strong. It works really well, but it does not look good. So pros and cons. While we're at this, I almost forgot about this Barrina bar light I have over here. This is literally just a bar. It's a standing bar light. And I got this like a long time ago, like maybe more than 3 years ago or 3 years ago now. It's one of those grow lights that we got very early on before we found out that Amazon generic grow lights work just as well. So it was a very expensive splurge that I don't think is worth it. It's not very bright, but it is very comfortable to the touch. It never burns you. The Sansi bulbs do burn you. Did I mention that already? If I haven't, be very careful when you're managing and maneuvering the Sansi bulbs and the overhead ceiling lights. Put on sunglasses. They're really bright and can really hurt your eyes. And also be very careful to avoid touching any of the bulbs, like the actual light bulbs, because it is very hot, and I have burned myself on my fingertip quite a number of times because I wasn't being careful around those lights. So be very careful. But this Barrina bar light, you're not going to burn any plants. Like my Chinghung Genesis can touch this light completely and it's not going to burn. So if that's something that you care about, the bar light is good, I guess. But I think this works better for like an aeroid on a moss pole versus Hoyas. I don't really think you need this bar light. Again, it doesn't look very good. It's not very strong, and I think it's very overpriced for what it is. So I will not actually recommend this. And I think nowadays, there are so many other generic standing grow lights on Amazon that I don't think you need to buy the Barrina ones anymore. Which now brings me to the main Barrina that I actually wanted to review, which is the Barrina T5s. So these are the Barrina T5s I got on a limited deal. They were used but in really good condition or light new condition. I think they work really well. I have no complaints. In terms of actual functionality, they are, as you can see, modular, so you can buy additional bar lights to connect. I think you can connect up to 12 or 13 per outlet-ish, I think. Don't quote me on that. You have to double check depending on the product specifications of the thing that you're planning to buy. But they are modular, so if you have like a whole bookshelf and you want to like just mod the whole thing with the exact same grow lights, I think the Barrina T5s are very well designed in that aspect because they are modular. There is a time, there's a timer on these, so the lighting is like completely automated. I don't have to bother with it at all. So those are the pros. The pros are A, a really nice design. It's modular. B, you can touch it. Again, it doesn't burn your hands. C, you can mod quite a few of these bar lights onto one outlet, which I think is very user-friendly and of a really good ease of use. And I mean, they are full spectrum. They do work. I mean, I have a Hoya insularis over here that is about to, well, it's about to fully bloom, but this is the peduncle. So everybody is growing and everybody's happy and it is full spectrum, but will I buy it again full price, brand new? I don't think so. I do think it's kind of expensive for what it does, and I do think that there are so many other generic brands on the market now that work just the same. And I will show you a different bookshelf in a second where I have these generic bar lights on and they work the same. They're not, these T5 lights are not stronger in any way, and they're the same. So for these, I think you can pass on them. I don't think it's a great deal. Actually, you know what? I was wrong. These actually are completely mechanical, so there are no automatic timers on these T5s that I got that were used. Maybe a more updated version has a timer. These do not have a timer. So I had to then go out and buy myself one of those timer plugs to then introduce a timer aspect to these lights. Otherwise, I have to turn them on and off every single day, which is very annoying for me. So yeah, so they're really expensive and they are modular, which is nice, but they don't include a timer, at least in this model that I bought. So for those reasons, I don't think I can like recommend you buy them. But if I think what you care about is design, so like you want it to look really sleek, or you want the ability to plug into the same plug with like, I don't know, 10, 12, 13 bar lights at once, then I think the price tag might be worth it. But if your use cases are not that, you just want an overhead bar light that you can attach to a bookshelf. I don't think you need to buy these. So we're in yet another room because I wanted to show you my generic one. So these are completely generic for Amazon. They literally do the same thing. They're also a bar light. You can also touch them. They don't burn your hands. They're also full spectrum. In fact, they come with a timer, so I don't even have to go out to buy a new separate piece of equipment just to make them do the timer job. So they actually already have a timer. I have this additional grow light here because I want the polyneras to grow outwards. But again, if you're growing plants that are not trailing, that are just going straight up, you don't even need this in front of the bookshelf. So for those reasons, I don't recommend the Barrina T5s. I do think there are like cheaper, better alternatives to the T5. On Amazon now, I think the tech is really good. There are so many different sellers, so I don't think you need to splurge on that. Unless you want the design ability for you to plug in more bar lights in the future in the same pot. In the same plug, I think. But if not, I don't think you need it. And this brings me to the final grow light I want to talk about today in today's video. And that's these Barrina Puck lights. So these Barrina Puck lights, as I was saying in the beginning of this video, I bought as a set of 4. Again, they share the same design capability of like being very modular, so you can buy one and then in the future buy more and then continue to extend them. Again, I think every model has like a maximum number of bulbs that you can extend and connect to the same circuit. These 3 are all connected on the same circuit, and if I wanted to add more on the second shelf above in the future, I can. These are, however, very expensive grow lights, and I was just looking at the Amazon price like after the sale is over, and there's just no way I'm paying $60 for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 pucks. I don't remember, but it's just an obnoxious amount of money for just like grow lights that you can get so plentifully with so many other options on Amazon. And I'm sure like you give it a couple of years, someone else is going to dupe these puck lights and you won't have to buy the branded ones anymore. But that's it. Pros to these Barrina Puck lights. I think they look really good. Like they kind of make your plants look like they're on an art exhibit. Like it looks like a piece of art that's getting spotlighted by this spotlight light puck thing. So I think a big pro for these Barrina Puck lights, they are very modular. You can keep adding to it just like the Barrina T5 grow lights. The second pro is that they look really aesthetically pleasing. They are a very, very beautiful design. They're very clean, they're very minimal. It's just a very beautiful design. These actually come with magnetic stickers that like stick onto the bookshelf that you can then clamp the light onto the sticker against the on the underside of the bookshelf. So because of that, it leads to a very clean aesthetic. So pros, modular, you can keep expanding it for the future, a beautiful clean aesthetic. So for all of you interior design girlies out there, I think these are probably the grow lights that are the least ugly. 3, they are full spectrum, they are very bright. I have not successfully sun stressed anything with them just yet, but they are really, really bright. As you can see, it's really bright. Cons. Some cons, I think you have to be very, very careful about these Barrina Puck lights because I've been literally burned by these puck lights twice now. I mean, I have been burned and my plants also got burned by these puck lights twice now. You have to be very, very careful with these magnetic attachments because what happens is, and I have 3 bulbs here and 1 on a different bookshelf, but what happened to me is that because all of them, I tilted the camera up so you guys can see, all of them connect on like these interconnected wires all the way to the first puck that gets connected to the actual power cable. Because of that, all of these are held on by magnets and they are pretty strong, and you can see I can move them, I can take them out, I can put them back in, and they're pretty strong. But the one puck light that's connected to all of these other puck lights and has to tolerate the weight of the cable, of the power cable that's going to the power outlet, this is the puck light that falls. So on this shelf, I have 3 of these here, and then on another shelf, I have just 1 puck light connected to a power cable that goes to the outlet. In both cases, in 2 different rooms on 2 different shelves, the magnet sticker that came in the box for the Barrina Puck lights failed. And it's not that the magnets are not strong. The magnets are very, very strong. But because the power cable, the weight of the power cable is heavy, the puck lights themselves are also kind of heavy. So on that very first puck light that's connected to the cable, it's so heavy that it pulls on the magnetic sticker that comes in the box. And what I mean by that is two things to take note. I think I'm not explaining this very well, but two things for you to take note. The first thing is that these puck lights are very bright, and so they get very hot. Because they get hot, imagine like the light gets hot and then you have this magnetic sticker that's at the back, right? So it's puck light, magnet, and then magnetic sticker, and then glue, and then bookshelf, right? These puck lights get really hot, and that first puck light that's connected to the power cable is also experiencing extra weight from the power cable, from the drag. And so that combination of a hot light melting the glue of the sticker plus the additional weight has caused both of my puck lights in two different rooms that are connected, the primary puck light that's connected to the power cable, to fail. So what happened is the magnet stayed on the light, but the glue behind the magnetic sticker basically melted and peeled off from the weight. And so the entire light came crashing down onto my plant and burned the whole plant, the crown of the plant. So what were the two things it burned? It burned my Hoya chinchongensis. It burned two beautiful Hoya chinchongensis in a variegated strands from the main plant. And I had to thankfully I was able to I sacrificed about 2 to 3 nodes that were completely burned by the light. But I managed to save the second half of the strand. And then I managed to prop that. And so now I have a new prop for that, 2 strands that were sacrificed because of this light falling onto my plant, because the stickers were just not strong enough. The second plant it burned is my Hoya, is my Hoya Matilde in the variegated. It also burned a strand, and this one I was not able to save because it was at the end of the plant. So I just had to sacrifice it. So those are actually major cons. That said, let me bring this down. That said, there are ways for you to mitigate this that I have found has worked for me in the last 8 weeks. So I have a few tips. The first tip is when you first stick the magnetic sticker onto whatever surface you are planning to stick it on, make sure you wipe down the surface, make sure it's dust free and dry before you stick the sticker on, just like you would with any 3M products. That's the first thing. The second thing is, once you stick the sticker onto the desired location that you want to stick the sticker on, make sure you give it a firm pressure so that the adhesive completely adheres to the surface. And my last tip, the third tip, is to make sure that you don't immediately apply these grow lights on the stickers, because it just messes with the glue, because these lights get hot and it messes with the glue and it's just not set and not ready for those lights just yet. So if you follow these 3 application tips, they're going to help you a ton. But my most important recommendation that has nothing to do with the application process, it has to do with after, is to actually get some, I didn't buy 3M hooks for these. I just got generic hooks. Yeah, I got generic hooks from a dollar store, so there's no brand or anything. But I got micro hooks to stick to the bookshelf to support the weight of the power cable, to help relieve the weight from the magnetic stickers. And so far, this technique has worked wonders for me, and there has been no more new accidents of falling puck lights. So I will highly recommend that. I will include a video right now or a picture on the screen so you know exactly what I'm talking about. These are micro hooks. I think they might be called cable organizers, or just tiny picture hooks. They're really small stickers with a hook, and you just stick them onto the surface, and you basically you push in the power cable into the hook, and that provides just a little additional support for the weight of the cable, and it really helps the puck light stay in place. Because when they fall, when a primary light falls, the weight of that fallen light then pulls on the next puck light, and the next puck light falls, and then it's like a cascading domino effect. So when I came home one day, all of these 3 puck lights had fallen, and I was like, How? Because the stickers are still on the shelf. And then I noticed that the primary failure was on the primary sticker of the primary puck light because the glue completely separated from the magnet. In conclusion, is the magnet strong? Yes. The glue is not, however. So beware and apply these application tips I just mentioned and laid out for you, and also apply a secondary precautionary tip to like include those hooks to take off some weight from the grow light and the cable. It will really truly go a long way for you for these grow lights, in my opinion. However, I think if you're putting these lights under a magnetic shelf, so these are all wooden shelves, so I had to use the magnetic sticker. If you're putting these grow lights under a metal shelf, not magnetic shelf, like a metal shelf, no problem whatsoever. The magnet's super strong and it's gonna stick onto the metal shelf, no problem. But like if you have anything else, like wood, plastic, any other material that's not actually metal and not magnetic, by association, and you're gonna have to use those magnetic stickers, be very careful. They might fall onto your plants, burn your plants, or worse, burn something else on that shelf. I don't know. I don't want to know. It's kind of scary to think about it. So recap: Pro, full spectrum. Second Pro, very pretty. Third Pro, pretty strong. Very bright grow lights. And it's very aesthetic. And it's also modular. So that's the fourth Pro, modular as well. Con, not the most stable setup. So be careful and make sure you follow those application recommendations and the secondary precautionary measure that I would highly recommend. Before I end this entire video, I guess a really clear comparison to make would be the Barrina T5 bar lights with generic bar lights. I think it's about the same. I don't sense anything super special about the Barrina T5 bar lights other than the fact that it is of a beautiful aesthetic. And it is modular, so you can keep adding more grow lights to it. But if that's not a design function you need, you don't need those grow lights. So that's the first thing. The second thing I think is a worthy thing to talk about would be comparing the Barrina Puck lights to the Sansi grow bulbs on a gooseneck thing. I think the Sansi bulbs are way stronger, way brighter, and sun stresses my Hoyas a lot faster than the Barrina Puck lights. However, for both lights, they are both not safe to touch. They will burn your fingertips if you accidentally touch the lights when they've been turned on for a long time. So be very careful about that. If you have children, like young children or like pets, they like to swat at your things, be very careful because like those grow lights are very hot. So try to put them on a shelf that's like not within the reach of your pets or young children is what I would recommend. But if I were to directly compare the Sansi bulbs to the Barrina grow lights, the Sansi bulbs are way stronger. They're way brighter, way stronger, and way hotter too, I think. But if you are looking for a light that will sun stress Hoyas really well, the Sansi grow bulbs, I highly recommend them, and they're often on sale and really cheap. And again, don't quote me on this. You're gonna have to go check the connection point of the Sansi grow bulbs. But I do think they are universal and you can screw them into a lot of different light fixtures. So for those people who care about interior design and stuff like that, you don't have to stand like an ugly bulb. You can actually fix, I think you can probably put them into like actual light fixtures that match your design aesthetic. So I think that brings me to the end of my video. So that's my total rundown of all of the fancy grow lights I do own. I don't even own like the fanciest grow light, and I don't think I will ever, unless somebody sends it to me to review or somebody buys it for me to review. I don't think I will ever buy a super expensive grow light just because I think the value proposition isn't clear for me. Barrina T5s on sale, sure, go ahead. If not, just buy a generic one. You're gonna be just fine. The puck lights, if you're looking for something that sun stresses, the puck lights haven't quite sun stressed anything for me just yet, but they are very bright, so I do think they can probably sun stress something. If you're looking for something specific to sun stress your Hoyas, I will highly recommend the Sansi bulbs. Wait for a sale. They are pretty affordable in terms of like name brand grow lights. And then again, be very careful about the way you apply those those Barrina puck lights. They have burned me twice, literally, and twice for my plants, literally. So be very careful. And I think that brings me to the end of today's video. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a thumbs up. Please comment down below. Tell me where you're from. Tell me if you own these slides. What has your experience been? Let me know if you're keen to try them, or like if you're just like me, you're like, you know what, if they're not on sale, generic girl lights are just fine. And yeah, feel free to comment down below if you have any other questions. And also subscribe to the channel. So like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for your attention as always. Bye.